Oh, hold up. There's a ring in the bottom of this thing, and it looks like it's gold. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Journey into Wealth. I'm James. Today's video, we're checking out a thrift store. We're going to buy a jewelry jar. I spent $95 on this jewelry jar. 95 bucks. I may have found some silvers, may have found some golds, may have found some stuff, you know. So wait till the end to find out what I found. We're also going to recap on a sale that we made for a bike that we bought in the last video. That's my son. So stay tuned to see what we find. I appreciate you guys watching. Let's rewind it back to the beginning of the day.
One debt to society later.
Alright, so remember that bike that we bought the other day for $35 at the thrift store? I just don't have the room for it, so I put it down on the marketplace for 80 bucks. Most of the bikes comparable to that are selling for about $150-ish. But I just needed to get rid of this thing, so I sold it. So I marked it out for $80. Bleh. So I marked it out for 80 bucks. I got a guy coming over right now to take a look at it. We're gonna add $80 to the net worth here pretty quick. I'm hoping, well, like $45 of its profit. But nonetheless, we're still gonna turn this bike pretty quick. It's been a day and a half, so I just don't want to store it. I've got too many other bikes, and I don't want to deal with it, so let's get that done. Yeah, go ahead and take it for a little ride. The only thing that's, Can I go in? All right. Floor 2, please. Yep. That doesn't look complicated at all.
A little bit.
See, when I'm here during the day, I try and keep the lights off because people don't like that. 8-pounders. So they're going in the typical, because I can't fit them in a medium flat rate. I wish I could. But there's just no cheaper way to ship these things. It's going to be $30 shipping. I think that if I did it, if I had an unmarked box of some sort, I could do FedEx and save a little bit of money. But I don't. Yeah, it'd be $15.52 if I had. Actually, sometimes things happen for a reason. Now it's a 9-pound package. And it's bigger. Decisions, you know? Aw, dude. I had the FedEx label exposed that whole clip. Boo. Alright, so we just finished up at the storage unit. I had to cut some of the footage because there was sensitive information in it, and I don't want to take the time to sit there and blur it all out. So, just tell you what happened. Basically, I chose to ship that package FedEx instead of USPS because it was about half the cost, and it got there in like 2 extra days. The postal service USPS said it was a 3 to 5 day window, and FedEx 2-day was half the cost and got there faster. So I just went ahead and I did it, shot the buyer a message, said, hey, hope you don't mind, I swapped your shipping over to FedEx 2-day because it gets there faster, and it was about the same amount. And generally speaking, I don't think I've ever had a problem with anybody, you know, minding that. Occasionally somebody can't receive FedEx. I have had that one time where they can't receive FedEx in their location, and the package actually had to come back to me. But just trying to do what's right by the customer as best I could, and also save some money. So swapped him over to FedEx 2-day, printed the label. We're gonna hit a thrift store real quick, then we're gonna drop off the package at the FedEx store. And yeah, I'm looking for jewelry again because it's what I do here. Let's go. Why not? I'm bored. I'll take it. All right, so we just got down to the thrift store. There was not a whole lot in there. I got 2 things. I've been shopping a lot for me lately. What my issue is that I got a vodka zinger.
2 shots of vodka.
Not worth crap for resale. Cost me $1.50, so whatever. But I did find a jar of jewelry. And I'll be honest, this jar is probably not worth what I paid for it. In fact, I am like 99% sure that this jar is not worth what I paid for it. But I have an addiction. I just have to buy things. There is one little piece right here that is silver. And I know that because I shook it around and I got the tag, or like the clasp end of it, and I could see the marking. So I spent $95 on a silver necklace. Other than that, there's probably nothing in there, but we're gonna go find out, because that's what I like doing. I love searching these stupid jewelry jars for treasure. I have scored more gold and silver doing this than I have buying it outright, and I typically get it for much less than whatever it is like market rate would be. So it's kind of how I hoard my gold and silver. Typically my strategy is to buy a jar of jewelry that looks like it has some sellable pieces in it and also some gold or silver, and then I can get some at some point in there, get my silver fix or my gold fix, and then sell the pieces out of there to make my money back on the jar. And if I break even, that essentially means that I've stacked gold and silver for free, which you can't do. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what we have. I'm going to open this in just a minute, and that'll probably be the video today. Actually, we'll see what we scored in the jewelry jar. All right, so we're back at the office now. This is the jar that we bought right here. This was 95 bucks. Can you see it? Focus, 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 focus. $95. Tape shut still. We're gonna open it up, we're gonna check out what we got, and I'm gonna kind of cut in, cut out, and just show you at the end, because nobody wants to watch me open an entire jar of jewelry all in one sitting, I'm pretty sure, but maybe there's some people that do. If you want to see a long form version of this video where I open up all of the stuff in one sitting, let me know, and I will. But in the meantime, let's just blow through it really quick. We'll see if we can find the good, and the bad. Crap, Jesse, I got your bracelet. Some of this stuff may very well be like costume jewelry. This is Belle, and it might actually be worth some money. I have found some costume jewelry in some of these that is worth a decent amount of money, but a lot of times what I end up getting is like this right here. Bunch of necklaces that are all tied together and completely messed up. There is one little piece right here that I found, if I can get it untangled, that might actually be vintage costume. I'm gonna have to look at it. It's got a little mark, but it's not a silver or a gold mark, so. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can pull all that out. Sometimes you just have to take all of it out at the same time. The thing about jewelry too is that it's filthy, it's gross, and a lot of times it's hard to go through without getting pretty disgusting. There are a lot of these. See, sometimes things like this, older pins, if they're marked and they have a good brand, you know, like sometimes Trevally or Trevari or whatever it's called, or you know, some of the more popular costume jewelry brands, which I'm completely blanking on right now for some reason. I'll know them when I see them though. When you can find those, that's a good thing. This, I bought it because mostly I just wanted to buy something to open, but looks like a lot of this stuff might be yard sale leftovers. That'll go on the watch lot. A lot of times I sell this stuff as lots. Anything that I don't want to pull out and have, you know, and set aside and have it be something that I'm selling specifically by itself, I just sell the rest of it pretty much as lots for other people to go through. And a lot of times, I mean, I miss stuff, definitely, and I also leave a lot of good stuff in the $10, $15, $20 range, because I don't sell stuff at that dollar amount. It's a nice little vintage watch. I don't know what brand it is, but that'll go in the watch lot too, probably. I do know there's one piece of silver in here at least. So my hope is that there is a couple pieces of silver in here that I can maybe make back some of my $95. What I'm looking for is very specific. For those of you wondering regarding my jewelry purchases and box lots and stuff like that, I do disclose, for the most part, as long as it is truly something that's unsorted, I do disclose whether or not I've sorted through it, so that people aren't buying it looking for gold, because there's very rarely will you find something like gold in one of my boxes. Pretty necklace. Oh, it's Cookie Lee. There's a lot of this kind of stuff, Cookie Lee jewelry. It's not really worth selling on its own. There are a couple pieces that are, but for the most part it's not. This thing has heft to it. It's heavy. Things are made so much better back in the day. I have a pin that matches that. I might actually set that aside and see if I can put those two together. This is one thing that I was looking at because it's got an interesting cup and it's got an interesting clasp. So it's got that alongside, and it's also got a secured clasp on it. I was thinking this might be gold, but it's not. Do you like? Aha, here's the... Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This is what I was looking at that was silver. It's got a nice lobster claw clasp, and on that clasp you can see that it says 925. So we got some silver, and it looks like it's an intact chain too. This right here is interesting to me. I actually, in my last jar, got a bunch of turquoise. I took it down to a bead shop and they authenticated it. It looks like it's Kingman turquoise. This to me appears to be turquoise as well. There are ways that you can authenticate it yourself. And I generally run it through an acetone test and a heat test just before I do anything. And then I take it down to a guy that I know at a jewelry shop. But that might actually be worth something. Because that feels like it's probably real turquoise. And depending on where it was made, how it was made, and whatnot, if it's actual true Native American turquoise jewelry, it can be worth a lot of money. That could potentially pay for the entire jewelry jar. More Cookie Lee. And the only other thing that I really had high hopes for was this right here. I don't know what it is, so I'll have to figure it out. Let's look it up just real quick while we're doing it. One used one for sale. None that have sold. The used one, they're asking $74.99 on. So, that has potential. We'll set that aside. Oh, it's a Timex Iron Man. I've sold a couple of these actually independently. I might actually stick this aside, see if I can replace the battery in that and get my money back out of it. More Cookie Lee. Lots of Cookie Lee in here. Cookie Lee. Oh, hold up. There's a ring in the bottom of this thing. And it looks like it's gold. There we go. This isn't gold. This is a Hobbit ring, however. One of the Lord of the Rings. Come on. It has writing all over it. I doubt it's a precious metal of any kind. I think it's a novelty. Bummer. That could have paid for the jar if it was 18 karat like the last one that I found. Oh, wait. Hold on. Right there. We might be in the money. That sounds like gold to me. Yes, for those of you wondering, gold has a sound. So does silver, actually. Okay. This is why you look at everything. So on this, there's actually 3 charms. The chain is not gold. The chain is an Avon cheapy chain. This thing right here, I don't see any markings on it, but I am going to look closer because this right here is stamped 14 karat. And then this one, the small one, that small little heart, looks like it has a stamp, but I can't tell what the stamp says. So I'm gonna have to look at that, and then I don't see anything on the number 1. So this is probably an instance of where somebody put a bunch of charms together on a chain and just wore the chain, and somebody at some time had bought this charm for them and spent some money on it, and they, you know, wore it with all their other stuff. So we're gonna have to dismantle this and see what's going on there. I don't think that's enough to pay for the jar, but we're making our way there. More Cookie Lee. Those are corn. This is probably another Cookie Lee. Yes, it is. I don't really see anything else that is too terribly impressive. Sometimes these copper bracelets, if you get the right ones, are worth some money, but just by brand, not by material cost. So here's a little piece of silver. Another little turquoise and silver little pendant. Both of them marked as 925, so another little piece of silver. Okay, so real quick, I just want to kind of lay it out and show you what I have sitting here from this jar of jewelry, just so you get a better idea, because I know that we kind of went through it a little bit quick. So I've sorted it all out finally. I've figured out what I'm going to do with most of it, and I'm going to just show you what I have. So here we go. And you're going to get a little behind the scenes of what's going on here. So that's cool. All right, so this is my desk area. That's the camera that I use. This is the stuff that I'm setting aside to, I'm going to put new batteries in these. This one looks like it's about $70 if it works. This one right here I haven't looked at, but I know for a fact that these Timex Iron Man watches, they can sell for a decent amount of bucks. And even if it's a $20 watch, 70 plus 20 is $90. There's pretty much my jar back. And then everything else will be on top of that profit. So I got this copper. So you can see right there, it says copper. It's just kind of an interesting bracelet. I know somebody who likes copper, so I'm kind of setting this copper stuff aside for them. There's those two and that one. Those are all the copper things that I found. This is the potentially, possibly, maybe turquoise. I don't know about that one. And then we have the 925 silver. You can see a little bit better on my phone here, which is what I'm using to see how old that clasp is right there. The clasp is ancient, but you can see 925 right there on it. And I'll test the whole chain just to make sure it's actually silver, but it feels to me like it's silver, so it's probably silver, I would guess. So there's that, and that's a pretty decent chain. That'll go into my own collection. Back here, which actually leading back to here, we have this, which I also showed really quick. It's just a heart necklace with a little bit of turquoise in it. I believe that turquoise to be real, but I'm going to test that as well just to make sure. Chain says 925, pendant says 925. I have no reason to believe that it's not, but it will be tested just to confirm. This right here is throwing me for a loop a little bit. That right there, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if I can get a better shot on it. It says 925 on the clasp. I don't know if you can tell or not. There we go. But I don't believe it. So I might use this. I'm going to set this aside as a piece that I can test. And I'll actually test this little lobster claw right here and show you guys how to test for fake silver. This piece right here is non-magnetic, which is kind of one of the ways that you can tell. I have a neodymium magnet right here, and it's non-magnetic. If it were magnetic, it would definitely not be precious metal. So as an example, the Lord of the Rings ring, definitely not a precious metal. Give me my metal back. However, this little thing that's stamped that I got off the Avon necklace, not magnetic at all. So more than likely that's gold. It is stamped gold and it's also non-magnetic. We're still going to test it anyway. But this right here feels to me like it's silver, and it sounds like it's silver when I drop it against other metal. And so I'm just going to test it, and if it's not silver, then it's no big deal. But if it is silver, it's probably a decent little chunk of silver. Looks like it might be a homemade type thing. So sometimes you do find that kind of stuff. This over here is an interesting bracelet. I dropped a stone out of it already on accident. So you can see that little stone right there. So it's missing a stone now over here somewhere. But it is hallmarked on the bottom. And where did it go? Oh, I'm sorry. Over here. It's hallmarked on the bottom, and it has a stone set on the inside, weirdly. So I'm just going to do a little bit more research on this and try and reset that stone, because I knocked the stone out of there somewhere around here. Anyway, knock that out. I also got a big lot of watches. There's a bunch of watches. I showed you all the watches. There's some vintage earrings. I can't see what the marking is on it, so I don't know whose those are yet. They may or may not get sold separate. I'm not sure. This is just something that I'm setting aside because it's kind of pretty, and I think that I could probably sell it. This is a little abalone charm. And I'm not sure if this goes with one of these cookie leaf things that we'll get to in a minute or not, so that's why it's set aside. This is another piece of what looks to be homemade Native American type jewelry. This could just very well be someone's homemade project, but I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. All of this stuff is good quality jewelry, but it's either not marked, or it's tangled, or I just don't want to deal with it, or whatever. I've thrown most of it back in there. All of these pieces right here on my fancy little side table are Cookie Lee. Everything here is Cookie Lee. And after doing a little bit of research, Cookie Lee, if you sell it in lots, you can actually probably get $30 or $40 for about, there's 30 pieces plus 30 necklaces plus 4 bracelets here. So 34 total pieces. And depending on the pieces and the cleanliness and that kind of stuff, you can get between 30 and 60 bucks for them. So if I can get, let's say if I get 40 bucks for it, then I can get $40 here plus the watch, the other watch, and I've made my money back. And so I'm just kind of like going through trying to figure out how I'm going to make my money back and then keep that silver for free, and then everything else can get stuffed inside of a bulk box and sold off to somebody who actually wants to piece it out and sell it as jewelry, piece by piece, because there's still a lot more money left in there. I just don't sell jewelry that way. I go through, I pick what I want, and then I pass it along. So anyway, I wanted to give you a little bit more like a close-up look at what exactly I've got going on here and how I kind of partition it all out so that it's, you know, organized for what I do with it, and then pass it along to the next reseller or craft person or, you know, whoever. And they do with it what they do. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Back to the camera. All right, well, that's what I found. Not much. I don't know if I'll even pay for the jar, to be quite honest. But you know what? You win some, you lose some. I think the best things that I found, there's this. It's a relatively interesting chain. It looks like it's old. The clasp on it is relatively vintage looking. It's not like a newer chain. And then also this turquoise buffalo necklace. Kind of hangs down like this. I'm gonna have that looked at. That might be worth something, maybe not, who knows. And then other than that, if I can replace the batteries in this and this, I'll probably get my money back between all of that stuff. And then I'll keep the silver, of course. So hopefully you enjoyed watching me go through this jar of jewelry. There wasn't anything awesome, so to speak. What is this? Nickel-free hypoallergenic magnetic earrings. No, still no. That'll go in the bulk lot as well. So hopefully you enjoyed watching me go through this jar of jewelry. If you did, please like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Oh, I forgot. I also found a tiny little bit of gold. So maybe I did make my money back out of this. That's nice. Anyway, if you did, please like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and hit the thumbs up button down there. It helps me out with the algorithm. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next video.